Yes, Jai Hind and hello everyone. Welcome back to Crack Grade B. This is Sunil Jangid, and in today's class we shall cover all miscellaneous questions. Right? Miscellaneous questions. I mean to say कि we shall discuss some of the examples, some of the sentences based on different chapters, grammatical chapters. Right? Whether you talk about noun, pronoun, adjective, prepositions, and subject verb agreement, all the grammatical chapters, questions from all the grammatical chapters included have been included in this part named named miscellaneous questions. So just inform me, are audio and video clear, and kindly share this session with all your friends. Invite them all. Today's session, it is going to be very nice session. So let us start. First question you have before you: an unit is an abstract idea defined either by reference to a randomly chosen material standard or to a natural phenomenon. Okay, is in this sentence, if you talk about, so as we know, an unit, okay, you have a word unit. This is a singular noun, but this is a noun with consonant sound. So many words we have like unit, university, universal, unit, union, unique, uniform, right? These are the words which starts with a letter, vowel letter, but they actually give consonant sounds. That's why, because of consonant sound singular noun, we use article a, not n. So just use article a before word unit. A unit singular noun, you have a singular verb, is an abstract idea defined either by references to a randomly chosen material standard or this pair conjunction either or you have, right, and to a natural phenomenon. And make it sure this article is only because of singular noun phenomenon. Phenomenon is a singular noun and phenomena is a plural noun. So because of article an, we always demand a singular countable noun, and singular noun is phenomenon, not phenomena. So sentence is okay now, and you have an error in part A. You have an error in part A. Okay. Move to the next question. Microwaves are the principal carriers to television, telephone, and data transmission between stations on Earth and between the Earth and satellite. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? Yes. Do you know you have two different words? One is principal, and second one is that is principal, right? Two different words we have, two different noun we have. Okay, this word principal means main, or you can say head, main or head of any school or head of any college, that is called principal. And it has another meaning also. Main means कोई ये कह ले कि मुख्य है या फिर जो प्रधान जिसको हम बोलते हैं, right? And this principle, if you talk about, it denotes to method, it denotes to any method or etiquettes, you can say, right? So if you just apply it in the sentence, microwaves are the principal carriers. So what kind of carriers I'm talking about? Some of the main carriers or head carriers I'm talking about. So here you just observe the spelling, it is principal. So principal is it denotes to a method. Here we are talking about main or head carriers. So just replace this word principal with principal. Okay, sentence will be fine. And now you have an error in part A. The error is in part A. Okay, move to the next question. Next question is, Mahavira was an advocate of non-violence and vegetarianism who revived and recognized the Jain doctrine and established rules for their monastic orders. Okay. In this sentence, you have a singular subject, and singular subject is what? Mahavira. According to this subject, you have a singular verb was. Okay. and according to this subject you have another second form of the verb, revived and recognized. So how you can just connect, how can you just relate this subject with both the verbs, like this verb, singular verb was, and with revived and recognized? If you just want to relate both the verbs with subject Mahavira, you need a relative pronoun, but the place of this relative pronoun must be after the subject Mahavira. If you just relate like this, Mahavira, who was an advocate of non-violence and vegetarianism, and Mahavira, who revived and recognized the Jain doctrine and established rule for their monastic orders. So you have an error in part A. If you just use a relative pronoun after subject and before verb, then sentence will be fine, and you have an error in part A. Error is in part A. You know, the concept is what? जब जब आप किसी सब्जेक्ट को रिलेट करना चाहते हैं तो रिलेट करने के लिए रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन चाहिए. अब मुझे महावीरा को रिलेट करना है इस वोज नाम की वर्ब के लिए, रिवाइव्ड और रिकॉग्नाइज्ड नाम की वर्ब के लिए. तो रिलेट करने के लिए मुझे रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन तुरंत इसके बाद चाहिए होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन है ना, इसका एंटीसीडेंट सब्जेक्ट कौन है? नॉन वायलेंस एंड वेजिटेरियनिज्म. अब नॉन वायलेंस ने रिवाइव नहीं किया, रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया, ये काम किसने किया? महावीरा ने. तो महावीरा जब रिलेट होगा जब उसके बाद रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन यूज कर देंगे जिसमें ये सब्जेक्ट वोज और रिवाइव दोनों के लिए जो है सब्जेक्ट बन चुका होगा, राइट? तो दिस इज द मेथड, दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रिलेटिव प्रोनाउंस, राइट? सो रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन, अ प्रोनाउन विच ऑलवेज रिलेट्स. So it must be used carefully in a sentence. You have to relate the word, और रिलेशन बहुत सही अप्रोप्रिएट होना चाहिए. उसी के लिए मैंने ये सेंटेंस को ए पार्ट में आपके एरर हो चुकी है. ओके, अमित हैज बीन डिसीविंग मोना फॉर मैनी ईयर्स. ओके, फॉर मैनी ईयर्स डिसीविंग, बट शी हैज नॉट स्टिल टम्बल्ड टू इट. यस, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ दिस सेंटेंस? डू यू नो, in this sentence we have tense, and the tense is present perfect tense. This is the present perfect tense, has, have plus v3, and this is the adverb you have. And make it sure, still never demands present perfect tense. Still never demands present perfect tense. We have an adverb that is yet. Yet is an adverb which demands present perfect tense with negative sentences. Okay, present perfect tense in negative sentences. So sentence will be like, has not yet tumbled to it, and you have an error in part C. Okay, move to the next one. A major contribution of Mathura sculptures of that period were creation and popularization of the Buddha's image in human form. Okay, you have a noun, you have major contribution of what? Mathura sculptures. So this is the first noun, right? And this is the second noun. And both the nouns are related with the preposition of. Make it sure, whenever you have a construction noun of noun, as in the sentence, this is the first sentence of preposition, second noun you have. Noun of noun is a construction in which we always demands a verb according to the first noun. First noun takes a verb. So if you just observe a major contribution, this is the singular noun, and according to this singular noun, verb will also be singular. That's why replace were with was. वर को हम रिप्लेस कर देंगे was से, sentence will be fine now. Okay, you have an error in part B. In part B you have an error. Okay, next sentence I will try to put over some feelers to gauge people's reaction to our proposal. Yes, what do you think of this sentence? Yes. In this sentence, if you talk about the modern office block sticks out like a sore thumb among the old buildings in the area. You know, in this sentence, you have a singular subject. According to this, singular verb will be used like a sore thumb among the old buildings. Old buildings, if you talk about, we are talking about more than two. And whenever you talk about more than two, we always use a preposition among, right? Between can be wrong over here. Reason behind ke between preposition is used whenever you show relation between two, right? Here we are talking about more than two, then that's why among is also okay. So there is nothing like error, so option D is the right answer. Move to the next one. He estimated his income tax bill by extrapolation over figures submitted in previous years. Yes, what do you think of this sentence? Yes, he estimated his income tax bill by extrapolation over from figures. Okay, you know this word extrapolation. This word extrapolation noun, it demands a preposition from. The reason we demand a preposition from, the reason is this figures is, you can say, origin, or you can say this is the initial point, starting point, right? And whenever we talk about origin, or whenever we talk about like initial point, starting point, right, we use a preposition from, not any other preposition, right? Whenever you talk about origin or initial point, we use a preposition from. So sentence will be fine now, and you have an error in part B. Next sentence, the two books are the same except for the fact that his has an answer in the back. Yes, what do you think of this sentence? Okay, you have a noun over here. The noun is what? Fact. Just a minute. You have a noun, the fact that, and this noun demands a preposition, so accept is preposition, so drop preposition for. Sentence will be like, the two books are the same except the fact that his has an answer in the back. So both are the preposition, accept and for, both are the prepositions, and the concept is that two prepositions cannot be used together in a sentence. I said two prepositions cannot be used together in a sentence. If you have uh, a preposition accept already, then you don't need to use another preposition like for. So that's why drop preposition for, sentence will be fine. You have an error in part B. Okay, the prime minister's good looks won him the election, but he has still to prove that he is not just a pretty face. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? Okay, you know, in this sentence, this face is a noun, pretty is an adjective, and this is adverb, but we have two or three adverbs like just, only, almost, even. These are the adverbs which is used before the noun they qualify, before the word they qualify. So just qualifies face, and this is the singular noun. So if you use this article before this adverb, if you use article before adjective pretty, sentence will be fine, and sentence will be like, that he is not just a pretty face. Sentence will be fine. You have an error in part C. C is the right answer. She stood off from the crowd because of her height and flaming red hair. What do you think of this sentence? Yes, you know, we have a phrase that is stand apart from. Stand apart from. This is the phrase which is used to show the sense to stand away from, or to stand at a gap, or to stand at a distance. To show the sense, we use a phrase stand apart from. But here we have second form of the stand, stood, and you have a preposition from also, right? So it demands not of, it demands apart. So sentence will be, she stood apart from the crowd because of her height and flaming red hair. So now you have error in part A. Next sentence, the data on the divorce case is on the judge's desk. Yes, the data on the divorce case. This is the first noun, this is the first noun, this is the second noun, and to show relation between both the sentences, we don't need preposition of, we need a preposition, we don't need a preposition on, we need of. So sentence will be, the data of the divorce case is on the judge's desk. Sentence will be fine, and error is in part A. Error is in part A. Are you getting my point? Yes. In 12th question, in 12th sentence, you have an error in part A. The data of the divorce case will be there, right? Next, there is a beautiful moon out tonight, and Neeta and I are going for a stroll. Would you like to come along with she and I? Okay. In this sentence, along with, this is a preposition, along with, this is preposition, and make it sure after preposition we use prepositional object. If you get a preposition, prepositions are always demand a noun after that. We use a noun after prepositions, and that noun will always be prepositional object. If you have a preposition, after preposition you will have a noun, and that noun will be prepositional object. So you have to maintain that noun or pronoun in objective case. So if you want prepositional object, objective case will be there, and sentence will be like, objective case of she is her and me, her and me. If you speak like this, this is objective case, this is also objective case, connected by and conjunction. Sentence is okay. Now you have an error in part C. Move to the next question. Your husband does not believe that you are older than I. You are older than I. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? Okay, the sentence is, your husband does not believe. Does helping verb demands a first form, that you are older than. Okay, you have a conjunction of comparison then. This is the comparative degree, adjective of comparative degree, it is conjunction then, and after this you have a pronoun I. Okay, make it sure कि whenever a conjunction then or as is followed by any pronoun, and if this pronoun is compared with a subject, as we know, this I is compared with what? It is compared with subject you. So if it is compared with subject, you have to maintain a subjective case. Already you have a subjective case, so it means everything is fine in this sentence, and the error part is option D. D is the right answer. There is no any error in the sentence. Option D is the right answer. 14th, 15th. You should be curious and make a few discreet inquiries about the firm before you sign anything. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? You should be cautious and make. Okay, in this sentence, this is the modal auxiliary verb, and in passive voice, we use a, and with modal auxiliary verb, we use first form of the verb. This is the linking verb. Linking verbs are followed by a complement. Cautious is an adjective, and adjective demands a noun. So to make this verb noun, drop conjunction and use a preposition to. And this 2 plus V1 becomes infinitive. Infinitives are equal to noun. Adjectives qualifies a noun. Sentence will be fine. Like, you should be cautious to make a few discrete inquiries about the firm before you sign anything. If you speak like this, you have an error in part B. Sentence will be fine now. You have an error in part B. Make it sure you can't connect adjective and verb. This make is a verb, and in English it is a concept that uh, connection must be between two same cases. Connection must be of two same cases, but here there is nothing like two same case. This is the coordinate conjunction, and before conjunction you have an adjective, and after that you have verb. There is nothing like connection of same cases, and as we know, cautious, this is adjective. Adjective qualifies a noun, and to make this verb noun we have to use a preposition to, and as we know, 2 plus V1, it becomes infinitive. Infinitives are equivalent to noun, and adjective qualifies a noun. Sentence will be fine. You should be cautious to make a few discrete inquiries about the firm before you sign anything. These type of questions will help you a lot to deal your comprehension part, right? Whether it is fillers or parajumbles, right? It helps a lot. And make it sure in English there is nothing like individual. There is nothing like this is the comprehension part. You can learn comprehension without vocabulary and grammar. It is nothing like that. It is language, and all the components of language like grammar, comprehension, vocabulary are correlated with one another. So never consider that you can learn English by doing only comprehension, by doing only vocabulary. You can learn English, or by doing only grammar you can learn English. There is nothing like that. All they are correlated, or they are interconnected. So by these approaches, you can also learn what can be, how can be an error in fillers. Okay, how can you relate parajumbles, right? It will help you a lot. So this is very important and informative session, you can say. You have to learn all these relations while just you just draw a sentence, or you just erect a sentence. You have to be careful about such things. So now this part is B. Next sentence: I will need several weeks to invent the lie of the land before I can make any decision about the future of business. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? Yes. Older than me will be an error part. Rushab, older than me, it is wrong to say older than me. Okay, let us learn accurately. Let me clear your point of view. Okay, if I say she is taller than, she is taller than he or him. Okay, you have a sentence. And he is wiser than, he is wiser than she or her, right? You have two different sentences. How can you deal these sentences? this conjunction then, it is followed by a pronoun, a subjective case or objective case. You have to use any one. Okay, so now just try to find it. Okay, the pronoun which is followed by then is compared with what? It is compared, he him is compared with a subject, right? Before verb, this is subject. So if a pronoun followed by then or as is compared with subject, you have to use a subjective case. Him is wrong over here. Sentence will be like, she is taller than he. And in the second sentence, here a conjunction then you have, after that you have a pronoun she, her. Okay, and now it is compared with what? It is compared with subject. So again you need a subjective case. She will be right answer. Or and if I say, if I say a sentence, father trusts you, father trusts you more than I me. Okay, in this sentence you know it very well, you have a conjunction then, and after that you have a subjective case and an objective case, I me. So now this pronoun is compared with you. Trust is a verb, father is a subject, and it is compared with object followed by a verb. So now if a pronoun is compared with object, now you can use objective case, me now can be there. But in both the sentences, like in this sentence, you are older than I, here I is compared with subject, before verb this is subject, so that's why you have to maintain a subjective case in the sentence, and already you have a subjective case, that's why there is nothing like error in the sentence, and part D will be the right answer. Okay, next, move to the next question. The next part is, I will need several weeks to invent lie of the land before I make any decision about the future of the business. Okay, it is said I will need several weeks to invent. Okay, this word invent, do you know what is the meaning of invent? Invent means to create, right? Invent means to create. And you have another word that is discover. Discover. Discover means to explore. To explore. So now in this sentence, it is said I will need several weeks to explore the lie of the land before I can make any decision about the future. So verb invent is wrong over here. So you can use discover. Discover you can use, or you can use discover can be okay in the sentence. So you have an error in part B. Yes. Okay. So you have an error in part B. Next sentence is, the salesman gave us a big spiel about why we should buy his product. Yes. Tell me about this sentence. Yes. Okay, you know this sentence, the salesman gave us a big spiel. This is one clause, and this is the second clause. Why we should buy this product. This is the first clause, this is the second clause. And to connect two different clauses, we don't need prepositions. You know it very well. Whenever it comes to connect two different clauses, we need a conjunction, not preposition. So you require a conjunction over here. And if you want a conjunction, you can speak like the salesman gave us a big spiel as to. This is the conjunction. This is the conjunction why we should buy his product. Why we should buy his product. Now sentence is okay. This preposition is unnecessary in the sentence. We need a conjunction to connect two different clauses. That's why you just use a conjunction as to. As to why. This is a phrase which we use. Okay, as to why we should buy his product. Error is in part B. Next, with the crisis deepening, the critics sense an opportunity about putting in place a more radical strategy. Yes. Yes. Okay. With the crisis deepening, the critics sense an opportunity about putting in place a more radical strategy. This putting in place a more radical strategy, here we, it is talking about tool or weapon, or this is any tool you can say. So before tool, weapon or equipment, we don't use preposition about, we use a preposition with. With will be the right answer, and you have an error in part C. You know, in this sentence, putting in place a more radical strategy, this is something like tool, this is something like a solution, this is something like an equipment. And whenever we talk about any tool, weapon, equipment, we need a preposition with, not about, right? About is something like which describe a point, right? Which describe a point. Whenever you have to describe something, then we use a preposition about. But here we are talking about any medium, any tool. In that situation, we use a preposition with. And error is in part C. Okay, it is stupid to go to the expense of taking music lessons if you never practice. Yes, it is stupid to expense, not expense. It is stupid to expend, right? It is stupid to the expend of taking music classes if you are never practice. If you never practice and you again expend taking music classes, it is stupid, right? Not it is expense to taking classes. Taking classes when you don't practice, to expend classes when you don't practice, then it is stupid to go. Okay, so just say it is stupid to go to the expend of taking classes. If you speak like this, sentence will be right, and you have an error in part B, right? Both the words expense and expend, they have their different meaning. As per requirement, we are talking about to increase the number of taking classes, right? We are talking about, we are not talking about expenses. We are talking about increasing the number of classes when you never practice, right? So to show the sense of increment, we use a verb expend, not expense, right? Okay, next, you will find it difficult to explain of your use of such offensive language. Yes. Explain, explain off will be wrong, explain away. You know, we have a phrase explain away. Explain away means something to give any solid reason, to give solid reason, right? To show the sense, to give any solid reason, we use a phrasal verb that is explain away. So you will find it difficult to explain away your use of such offensive language, means to you to give solid reason, to give solid reason of your use of such offensive language. So sentence will be like, not explain off, explain away. Part B has an error. Part B has an error. Okay, next sentence. Next sentence is, because of the extenuating circumstances, the court acquitted him out of the crime. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? This is also a nice sentence. And I told you about prepositions. We discussed prepositions in depth and detail. In that, I told you कि this verb acquit is a transitive verb. As we know कि this have indirect object. But whenever it talk about any indirect object, in case of direct object, it becomes intransitive verb, and now it demands a preposition of acquitted him of crime, right? For example, if I say the judge acquitted, the judge acquitted the thief, the thief of the crime. We speak like this. This is the right sentence. And in this sentence, this acquitted is a verb, right? This becomes transitive verb. For this indirect object, it becomes transitive verb. But for this direct object, it becomes intransitive verb, and now it demands a preposition of. It demands a preposition of, not out of. So drop out over here. Drop preposition out. Sentence will be the court acquitted him of the crime. And now the sentence, now the error is in part C. Error is in part C. The carpet was badly stained to such an extent that you couldn't tell its original color. Yes. You have a verb, you have an adjective that is stained. And if a cloth is stained, or if a carpet is stained, so it means it is something like shabby, or it is something like worn out. So if you use badly before this adjective stained, that it will be superfluous. We don't say badly stained. Stain means something that is very untidy. Stained, something like if a cloth or something else is untidy, or that is very bad in situation, bad in condition, that is called stained. So it is superfluous to use badly before a word stained. So drop stained. This carpet, the carpet was stained to such an extent that you couldn't tell its original color. Option A is the right answer. Next, it is greatly to Amit's credit that he gave back the money he found. His honesty does for him credit. Yes. You know, you have a right phrase. His honesty does credit for him. His honesty does credit for him. If you speak like this, then sentence will be fine, and you have an error in part C. Error part C is the right answer. His honesty does credit for him. Next question. A terrific hue and cry was raised at the new tax proposals. Yes. 24th. A terrific hue and cry was raised at the new tax proposals, not proposals. Singular proposal will be there, singular noun will be there, and error is in part C, right? At the new tax proposals. Option C is the right answer. Next sentence, the former generals was exiled of his country. Exiled demand a preposition from, right? This is the origin, and before origin we use a preposition that is what, that is from. Exile from, exile demands a preposition from. So error is in part B. Part B has an error. Move to the next one. The next sentence is the company has set off himself some stiff production goals for this year. Yes. Yes. In this sentence, the company has said, okay, this is the verb, and make it sure this is the reflexive verb, right? The company has set itself some stiff production. So this, if it is a reflexive verb, this reflexive verb is followed by a reflexive pronoun as object. So you don't need a preposition of, o double f. You don't need a preposition of. So sentence will be like, reflexive verbs are always followed by a reflexive pronoun, right? For this subject company, you have a reflexive pronoun itself. So after this reflexive verb, you don't need any preposition of, drop this preposition. Sentence will be fine. Error is in part B. Next sentence, the music was so loud that we had bellow over each other to be heard. Yes. The music was so loud that we had, this is not bellow, this is below. We had below over. Both are prepositions. So this is most probably, this is something like typing error. This is something like typing mistake. So that's why avoid this sentence. Move to the next one. In this sentence, you have a typing mistake. It is not accurate, I think, right? So that's why move to the next sentence. When this beautiful girl arrived, all the men in the room gravitated over her. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? You know, you have a word, you have a verb gravitated. This verb gravitated demands a preposition at, not over. Over is wrong in the sentence. Gravitate is a verb which demand a preposition at. Gravitated at her will be the right answer. Option C is the right answer. The children are really in their element playing on the beach. Yes. Yes. The children, this is the plural subject, this is the plural verb, really in their element. Okay, in their element is something like are very happy, right? In the element is an idiom that means to be in happy situation, to be in happy or uh, amusing situation. Okay, this is also, this is right phrase, playing on the beach. There is nothing like error in the sentence. D is the right answer. The refugees are badly off for blankets and even worse for food. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? 30th. The refugees are badly off for blankets and for food. You know, you have a phrase badly off. Badly off is something in poor situation, in poor circumstances, or a circumstance which is worse for us. That is called what? Badly off. So this is also, this is okay. Badly off is fine. So if you have used word badly off, then we don't need to use a word worse, because both the words have same meaning. Badly off is something like that is in poor condition, that is in worse condition. So badly off for blankets, even and even for food, that is okay. For food and for blankets, badly off shows the same sense as worse. That's why first one is okay and the error is in part second. So drop word worse. Now sentence will be fine. Move to the next sentence. From their vintage point on the cliff, the children could watch the ships coming and going. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? From the vintage point. Okay. Vintage point on the cliff. The children watch the ships coming and going. There is nothing like error in the sentence. No error. Some women admit that their principal, again, not principal goal, it must be principal goal, main goal, right? Actual goal we are talking about, non manner. Principal denotes to manners. Principal, in which you get PLE in the last of that word, that means manners or etiquettes. But here we are talking about some women admit that their main goal in life, main, to show the sense of main or major, we use a word principal, PAL in the last. B is the right answer. Next sentence, take 2 spoonsful. Okay, whenever you talk about some of the noun like spoonful, this is a singular noun. Its plural must be what? Spoonfuls. Spoonfuls will be there. If you have a word cupful, it plural will be what? Cupfuls. Cupfuls will be its plural. And if you just talk about handful, the plural of handful is what? Handfuls, right? This is the plural. So same thing, if you apply, take 2 spoonfuls will be the right answer. Take 2 spoonfuls of this medicine every 3 hours. Next sentence. The film was so disjointed that I could not tell you what the story was about. Yes. In this sentence, it is said the film was so disjointed. Okay. It was disjointed in past. In past, he watched movie. So movie was disjointed in past because he watched it in past time. That I could not tell you what the story was about. This is also past activity because he watched the movie in past. That's why the story, the what the story was about, this is also in past. But it is it is means the statement is in present tense, means its explanation is in present tense. So that's why modal auxiliary verb can will be there. Could, could is a modal auxiliary verb that is past of can. But you can say the speaker addressing this statement in present time. I can't tell you the story was so disjointed, and the story was what it was all about, what the story was about. So both the sentences are in past, but the statement, but its expression is in present. That's why use a modal auxiliary verb can. Next, he had been saved of death as if the divine interventions. Yes. What do you think of this sentence? He had been saved from death. from death. Saved from death can be the right answer, option B. In part B, you have an error, right? So these were the miscellaneous questions based on all various chapters, whether you talk about noun, verb, preposition, tense, adjective, adverb, conjunction, prepositions, every chapter you have in such type of sentences. So now I think it's enough from my side, and I just keep my finger crossed for you. We'll meet you tomorrow. Take care till then, and love you all. uh, Take care. Thank you very much.